Welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus. Today we're going to talk about 3 Minnesota Vikings practice squad players from 2023 with the best shot to make the 2024 roster. Before we get in that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. And don't forget, Horned Up is coming back tomorrow night, 5:20 p.m. sharp. Be sure to hop on for that as we go over the latest Vikings news, nuggets, and tidbits. All right, let's talk about 3 players who were on the practice squad when the 2023 season started. This doesn't mean they weren't called up at some point. Just means they started the 2023 season on the practice squad, did not make the final 53, but now could see their name on that final roster come late August. Let's start with the only guy who did not get a sniff of playing time last year, and that is wide receiver Thayer freaking Thomas, a good pal of the show, as we like to say around here in the One Bar Lupagus show. 6 foot, 195 pounds, punt returner, shifty receiver, quick in and out of his breaks, dynamic with the ball in his hands. But he had some fumbling issues as a punt returner last year in the preseason. I think that kind of cost him a spot. But you look at the depth chart right now for the Minnesota Vikings 2024. Yes, heavy at the top with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Brandon Powell is going to be your third option. And then after that, it's a question mark. You got Trent Sherfield. You got Jalen Nailor, who can't seem to stay healthy. And then it's all up in the air. So I think any spot beyond 3 is up for grabs. I think the Vikings kept 5 receivers last year. Thayer Thomas has a shot. If he can clean up the fumbling issues when it comes to being a punt returner, he's already formed a rapport with J.J. McCarthy. I don't think it's a question or the realm possibility even that Thayer Thomas earns, whether it's wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 5, one of those spots. And you'd love to see it. You'd love to see these guys work their way up the depth chart. Practice squad year 1, maybe just barely getting on the roster year 2, maybe seeing some spot duty, and maybe year 3 that role even expands even further. I think Thayer Thomas could do it, and the route running's there, the hands are there, just maybe some ball security issues. He can clean that up. Again, KOC has called him out a couple times in press conferences, which is a huge compliment and bodes very well for his chances of making this roster. Let's jump over to the defensive side of the football. Cornerback Jalen Williams, J-Will as he's called lovingly by Vikings fans and members of the team, 5'10", 195 pounds. Now, this kid did get in last year. When Caleb Evans was struggling, it was J-Will who actually came in and played for him. He showed up in 3 games. He had 1 tackle. But his coverage was pretty good. It wasn't like the spot was too big for him. I think he came in against the Lions and the Packers, so he's going against some good receivers and teams that aren't afraid to throw the football. And he held his own. And J-Will is getting rave reviews already in training camp. I mean, you talk about guys who are getting some buzz. He's definitely one who's getting some buzz. And who's not getting buzz? Andrew Booth Jr., Caleb Evans. There are some issues there with the guys who were here last year. Are they going to make the team? These draft picks, high draft picks from Kwesi's first year. It might be time to move on. And maybe a guy like J-Will is the one who benefits from that. I mean, he's not going to get over Shaq Griffin or Byron Murphy or Mekhi Blackman or Kyrie Jackson, but 5'6" corner spot, definitely up for grabs. And Jalen Williams could be the guy who earns that spot going from the 2023 practice squad to the 2024 active roster. And let's go to the last one. Last one is another wide receiver. It's Tristan Jackson. Tristan Jackson didn't make the team in 2023. He was on the practice squad, but he did see some action. He played in 7 games. He had 2 catches, 9 yards, and I believe he had a 2-point conversion. I'm trying to see if that shows up on the stat sheet here. So he did see some action, 6'1", 191 pounds, decent size. Looking for that number 4 wide receiver, maybe a guy who can play outside. Tristan Jackson could be that dude. He's looked good in the preseason, a couple years now. I think he's been with the team for a while. He seems to always get hurt at the worst times. Missing reps in practice, missing practices. Hopefully he stays healthy because I think he's got a shot to be wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 5, just like our boy Thayer Thomas we talked about earlier. So definitely a guy who's going to be in the mix, and we'll see how many receivers the Vikings ultimately keep. But Tristan Jackson, I mean, if he can get reps when Jalen Nailor is sick or hurt and not getting reps, that's huge for him. And I think he's got a real strong chance to make the 2024 roster, right? Those are 3 guys I got who were on the practice squad last year who I think have a great chance to make the 2024 roster. If you have any others, let me know in the comments. And always keep your skull in your hole.